Okay, so now we are ready to move to the next exercise where we are going to use machine learning embedded as part of the menus that Spotfire has to offer, more specifically coming from the tools menu. And we're going to explore a couple of options here. The non-supervised machine learning technique known as k-means clustering. And we're also going to do a regression model as well, applying the out-of-the-box techniques in Spotfire. Okay, so let's start with our machine learning unsupervised algorithm. In this specific case, k-means clustering. So to do so, let's go ahead and bring our spatial data CSV into the canvas. Start with a new Spotfire application. As you can see, I'm starting from 0. Click OK and click OK. Review your table. We are familiar with this table already. We have location of wells around, and we have some variables that can be representing any important insights into your business. In this case, for example, geology information. So the next step to be able to apply k-means clustering is to have the data in the right format. And for that, we're going to apply a line chart. I'm going to go to line chart. And in line chart, I'm going to change my y-axis to represent all the variables that I want to study in that pattern recognition behavior. So right click of the mouse on my y-axis, and I'm going to say select columns, and I'm going to ensure that I have all the variables that I care. In this specific case, the aggregation method is not that important. I'm just going to go ahead and change it to average. My only goal is to ensure that I can see everything at once. So click OK. You're going to have a message here that says, hey, you have multiple columns here, so your x-axis has to be equivalent to that. For that to happen, just come here and change this x-axis to be column names, meaning you have many columns over there and you want that kind of visualization. You should have this line. Now we have 483 rows, meaning potentially we have one row for each well. For example, this well hypothetically located latitude and longitude, and then I have specific geology measurements for that specific well. So let's ensure that we have all that represented on this visualization. I have to have a line per well, meaning give me a line for all the rows that I have here. Perfect. So I have 483 rows, therefore now I have 483 lines. Okay, so as you can tell, we already have some patterns here. I mean, we can tell immediately that B1 is very different from A1, for example. We can also tell that majority of our wells are actually showing an elevated B1 value. And we can see that some wells more than others have specific patterns and behaviors. So here is where we can literally apply machine learning into our analysis. With one click of the mouse, we're going to do tools and we're going to do our k-means clustering. Now that we have the proper format, you can select a different technique here. If you have questions about this, you can always refer to the help menu, and the help menu is going to identify where you are at and give you a little bit of color before you make that decision. In this case, I'm just going to ensure that I have at least 5 different clusters. So my K is going to be 5, and I'm just going to click OK. Notice how Spotfire automatically generated the 5 different clusters, and you have 5 different patterns that we were able to identify with the data that we are displaying on the table on the left. I'm just going to go ahead and close this table, and I'm going to add a map visualization so we can see it side by side. And to add a little bit of color here, let's color by. Notice how after we did our machine learning classification, the table automatically added a last column here that is k-means clustering. So I'm going to use that k-means clustering to color by, and I'm going to use the same k-means clustering variable to color by in the map. So now I can easily see my clusters, and I can easily see where they are located geographically in the map. Here we go. Very simple, very nice, and this is actually applying machine learning techniques to help you classify your variables and help you identify insights into your data.